So Hong Kong director Wong Kar-wai is one of my favorite directors, but I have a couple of blind spots in his career. I think I've seen maybe two-thirds of his films, and one of the biggest blind spots I had was probably his most popular film, or tied for most popular film, Chungking Express. I say tied for because In the Mood for Love is also super popular. Um, my favorite Wong Kar-wai film, and maybe it's because it was my first of his that I saw, I don't know, is In the Mood for Love. It's one of his lesser known ones. I love it dearly, and if you have not seen it, please seek it out. It is so good. Um, but today I finally watched Chungking Express. It's on the Criterion Channel, beautiful restoration of it. Um, it was released by Criterion on DVD and Blu-ray, and then has been out of print for quite a while. And so when it popped up on Criterion Channel, people lost their minds, and it was always a very popular title because we were one of the few places you could watch it. And I just was like, oh, I'll watch it, I'll watch it, I'll watch it. And then I never did. Finally, I watched it. So it gets its title from the Chungking Mansions, which is an area in Hong Kong, I believe, where Wong Kar-wai grew up that has these food stalls and other things. And it tells two stories. Um, I would say a half and half, but it's actually the latter half of the film is actually longer than the first half. But it tells two stories. One, they're both of the main characters are cops who have recently been dumped by their girlfriends and are sad. The first one was dumped on April 1st. He thought it was an April Fool's joke. It wasn't. He's waiting a month to see if maybe she'll come back, and then he's going to give up. Meanwhile, he's slowly seeing a woman in a blonde wig who may be a shady person from his perspective. From our perspective, we know that she is part of a drug running uh, scheme, and she's on the lam and running from bad guys. But he doesn't see that. He just sees an intriguing woman in a wig whom he meets in a bar, and so they collide in this story. The second story follows another police officer who has just broken up with a flight attendant, and um, he goes to the same food stall that the other guy had gone to. This is the connection between the two stories. Um, while he tries to get over his girlfriend who left him, he starts to be attracted by another woman who works at the food stall who is obsessed with the song California Dreaming and has it on all the time. His There's a beautiful scene where the flight attendant girlfriend, um, and the second cop, played by Tony Leung, Tony Leung, who the scene is set to Dinah Washington's song "What a Difference a Day Makes," and it's really sexy and really evocative and really shows you the power dynamics and tone of their relationship, all within the confines of this song and the moment they're having together with the song. It's an astounding piece of filmmaking. So that's juxtaposed with uh, the woman who works at the food stall, Faye, and her obsession with California Dreaming and how bright and sunny and happy she is. She tries to change his life by fixing up his apartment a little bit, and this does not quite work. I don't really want to spoil what happens after that, but I will say that the very last scene in the film is so adorable. It's a perfect ending. I really loved it. One of the things that is often said about Days of Being Wild is that all the narrative threads don't necessarily connect well. I don't care. Personally, I think they're gorgeous, and I don't care how they connect. And that's kind of the thing with most of Wong Kar-wai's films is he never tells a linear story necessarily, and he made a trilogy that's maybe a trilogy, maybe not, which is Days of Being Wild, In the Mood for Love, 2046, because maybe they're all the same characters, maybe they're not. It doesn't matter. There's a great special feature right now on Criterion Channel with Barry Jenkins talking about how Wong Kar-wai's filmmaking is almost, I think he called it I can't say that word, cyclical, and that it's not even nonlinear. It just sort of folds in on itself. And I would 100% agree with that with a lot of his filmmaking, um, because he makes films about memory and feelings and memory are um, always stuck on what, like, nostalgia and things that remind you of stuff, and um, that's how emotions and senses and feeling and just the human condition works. And so having a film that reflects the reality of how we live in our interiors is astonishing, and Wong Kar Wai does that so well. I'm also gonna stand real quick for My Blueberry Nights because I like that movie also, and I thought that Nora, what is her name? Oh my God, Nora Jones was a great actress in that, and it was so panned that um, she didn't make another movie. And I was like, no. Anyways, I have maybe two or three. I think I have three Wong Kar Wai's left, but I actually own, I think, both the ones that I'm missing. My brother got them for me, and I didn't watch them because I'm an idiot. This is Chungking Express. It's beautifully shot. It's very reminiscent of that like mid-era Technicolor um, Godard, where he was shooting very experimentally, um, shifting the way that even cinema itself presents itself time-wise. Um, Bright colors, pop songs, the soundtrack making the feelings of the images enhanced, that kind of filmmaking. As much as I dislike Godard, I will admit that I don't like him as a person. What he did with cinema was very influential, as was Hitchcock. They're on my list. I got a list of film dudes that I like. Will admit their legacy in terms of inspiring, but I don't necessarily like them. Um, Come at me and I'll tell you what films I'm talking about or what filmmakers I'm talking about. So this was Wong Kar Wai's Chungking Express. Currently, I think the only way to watch it is on Criterion Channel um, or on an out of print DVD, Blu-ray. But I think maybe it's coming back from Criterion soon. So fingers crossed for that, and we can all have our easy access to it again. So this is Wong Kar Wai's Chungking Express, 1994. He is fantastic. He can do no wrong.